In the healthcare system, neurological disorders are considered especially heinous. In Fargo, North Dakota, the dedicated doctors who study these vicious diseases are members in an elite squad known as Big Science News. This is their channel.
Welcome back to our channel, Big Science News. Today we're going to be talking about cutting-edge research and the use of stem cells in neurological disease therapies.
Today joining us is Dr. Wong.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, he specializes in stem cell therapy treatments in neurological diseases. And Dr. Carlton.
Hi, thanks for having me here today.
Yeah, who specializes in stem cell research.
So tell us a little about what you guys do and what exactly is a stem cell.
So basically what a stem cell is it's an undifferentiated cell that can basically differentiate into multiple cell types. So basically what that means is it has unlimited potential and can pretty much become any cell inside the body.
Very cool. So do all stem cells function in the same way?
No, there are three different categories of stem cells. There are totipotent cells, which can differentiate into all types of cells, including sex cells. And then there are also pluripotent cells. These cells can differentiate into three different germ layers. Lastly, there are multipotent cells. These cells can differentiate into multiple cell types. Really, it's kind of like a hierarchy of cells.
So what's a germ layer?
Well, there are three germ layers. Starting with the outermost layer, there's the ectoderm, which makes up the central nervous system and skin. Moving inward, there's the mesoderm layer, which makes up the body's bone, kidneys, skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle, and red blood cells. Lastly, the innermost layer is the endoderm that makes up the body's gut and lungs or organs like the liver.
So where in the body can you find stem cells?
Well, there are two different types of stem cells. There are embryonic and adult stem cells. Embryonic stem cells are derived from embryos that develop from eggs that have been fertilized in vitro, which means outside of the human body. Adult stem cells are found inside of the body, in a tissue or organ. For example, adult stem cells can be found in the brain, bone marrow, blood, skeletal muscle, skin, teeth, heart, gut, liver, or a variety of other places or organs.
So why are stem cells useful in medical therapies?
Basically they're useful because they give medical practitioners just like some added flexibility in how they can combat some of these like complex diseases.
So what kind of diseases do stem cells have the potential to help with?
So stem cells can really help with pretty much anything, right? So patients that are suffering from things like diabetes, as well as blood disorders or like heart defects. And then we also see some aided capability in helping out like patients with some like degenerative diseases such as like MS or like Parkinson's disease.
So which diseases do you work with, and can you tell us more about them?
Yeah, so I work with patients who suffer from MS, which is multiple sclerosis. And it's a degenerative disease that gets worse as time goes on.
Multiple sclerosis is a disease that impacts the brain and spinal cord, which makes up the central nervous system. The central nervous system controls everything we do, everything from walking to solving a complex problem.
What is the cause of MS?
The exact cause of MS is unknown, but we do know that something triggers the immune system to attack the brain and spinal cord. This causes disruptions of signals to and from the brain. This disruption of signals can lead to many problematic symptoms such as numbness, tingling, mood changes, memory problems, pain, fatigue, and even blindness. Treatment can help manage these symptoms, but unfortunately, there's no cure yet.
Everyone's experiences with MS is different, and these losses may be temporary or long-lasting. Most people initially have relapsing remitting MS, where they experience attacks of new symptoms, followed by periods of time where those symptoms go away partially or completely. Others experience gradual or ongoing loss of function without distinct attacks, which is known as progressive MS. MS can be difficult to diagnose, but once a diagnosis is confirmed by a neurologist who is knowledgeable about MS, there are disease-modifying therapies for reducing attacks and slowing down the damage for those with relapsing MS. Growing evidence suggests that early and ongoing treatment with a disease-modifying therapy is an important defense against future attacks.
That sounds very interesting. So what makes stem cell treatment more beneficial than other treatments that are currently being used?
So the unique characteristics of stem cell therapies are that they don't require the patients to be accountable, which sounds kind of funny to say, but a lot of times what we see in a clinical setting is that when patients are dependent on themselves, holding themselves accountable, making sure that they're taking their medication, a lot of times they don't do it. So this kind of takes that problem out of the situation, right? And there's a recent research article by Jose Lopez that actually proved this, right? And so in their study, patients that underwent stem cells therapy, they had improved results versus people that took medications. And those results were having to do with like motor function, right? So being able to move and do things like that. But also with this is that stem cell therapies are not a cure, right? They can improve symptoms, but they're not necessarily curing symptoms.
So how long do you think it'll be before there is a cure using stem cells instead of just helping the symptoms?
Well, interestingly enough, a paper was published actually pretty recently in January of 2017 that addressed just that. A review paper by Sydney Corey and her colleagues focused in on a new method that was able to help treat stroke victims. And this method involves using a hydrogel, which is a gel with a water base, and it's injected right to the affected areas. And this gel was found to act as a scaffold for the stem cells to actually build upon. The gel and stem cell combo was able to even repair neural tissue, which has always really been a problem in the scientific community, as neural tissue is very specialized and really hard to replicate. If this technique could be applied to other disorders, such as MS, this breakthrough for a cure might be coming faster than you think. And there was another study about autologous hematopoietic stem cell transplantation in autoimmune diseases, and it took 900 people who were all suffering from very serious immune diseases such as MS, systemic sclerosis, lupus, arthritis, and cytopenia. And these were first-time stem cell treatments for each of them. And out of the 900 people, 85% actually survived a 5-year term, which is longer than most of them would have had without the stem cell research.
Yeah, the future of stem cells, it's incredibly fascinating. There's almost unlimited potential when it comes to this new technology. And I think collectively as a science community, we're really excited about some future applications of stem cells.
For sure.
Very cool. Well, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Tune in next week for more big science news.